Hi everybody, my name is Rachel Amlung and I'm currently a registered nurse at Norton Audubon Hospital. I've been there for 2 years and I work on the cardiac progressive care unit, which essentially is a unit where patients are a little bit too sick for med-surg but not sick enough to be in the intensive care unit. I got into nursing 2 years ago. Whenever I was in high school, my dad was diagnosed with stomach cancer, and 2 years after his diagnosis, he did pass away from his stomach cancer. But throughout those 2 years, I had so many nurses, nurse practitioners, and physicians who positively impacted me and my dad and my family, and I decided that that was something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life, was get to have a positive impact on people. So the ethical dilemma that comes to mind that I've experienced throughout my nursing career. I had a patient who had stage 4 pancreatic cancer that had metastasized to the rest of his body. He was very cachexic or very skinny. He aspirated every single thing that he ate and drank, and he was in a great deal of pain. It was clear, if you looked at this patient, that he only had months to live at best. So he had a head doctor on his case, and then a different doctor who was on his case was actually a family friend of this patient. Now, this family friend doctor was really the one who was driving care for this patient, not the head doctor. And I think that it was because he did have that family friend connection to the patient, and this is who the family of the patient, as well as the patient himself, trusted the most. So this doctor would not discuss palliative care at all with this patient or with the family, and would not discuss hospice care either, even though this patient was clearly nearing the end of his life. So there was one day where I asked the doctor if we could get palliative care involved, just to come and talk to the patient so the patient knew the options that he had. And the doctor quickly shut me down. There was also another doctor on the case who asked this doctor, hey, let's get palliative care on board. And the family friend doctor fired that doctor from the case solely for mentioning palliative care. Now, there's nothing against this doctor, but I do think that his judgment was clouded, clearly because he wouldn't even discuss palliative care or hospice care with this patient. He was optimistic that this patient was going to get better, but whenever you have stage 4 pancreatic cancer with mets to the rest of your body, you're not going to recover from that, unfortunately. So I decided to talk to my manager about this case, and we decided to take it to the ethics committee. I do not know what ended up happening with this patient because I took myself off the case after getting the ethics committee involved, because I myself also felt like my judgment was clouded because this patient did remind me a lot of my father. So as for part of the ANA Code of Ethics that relates to this case, I would say Provision 3, Section 5 relates. That is the protection of patient health and safety by acting on questionable practice. So it says, when practices in the healthcare delivery system threaten the welfare of the patient, nurses should express their concern to the responsible manager or higher authority. This patient deserved to know the options that he had and deserved to know what was going to happen with him. As did his wife. I mean, his wife really thought that he was going to get better, though he was definitely not going to get better. So with that being said, I am really excited about this ethics course because I want to learn about how to handle these kinds of situations a little bit better. And whenever I become a nurse practitioner, I know that I'm going to have greater ethical dilemmas at hand. So I would love to learn how to handle these and the different ways to approach patients and their family members whenever dealing with ethical dilemmas. Thank you guys.